Let's start with a big question. What if almost everything we've been taught to believe about trauma is just wrong? Today, we're going to tear down the old ideas and build a new framework. We're talking about the Great Purge, trauma as system re-architecture. You know these words, right? Shattered, cracked, broken. This is the language we all use. It's how our culture talks about trauma. It's a vocabulary that's all about damage. And when you tell a story of damage, you're implying that something is permanent, that you're a flawed, weaker version of your former self. You know, like a vase that's been glued back together, but it's never quite the same. But here's the thing. What if that whole story is just plain wrong? What if we've been missing the point entirely? What if this isn't about damage at all, but about an incredible, logical, and frankly, brilliant design choice? So before we can get to the new model, we have to really understand, and I mean really deconstruct the old one, this flawed narrative that has been running the show for way too long. The old way of thinking, what we can call the paradigm of pathology, basically sees the mind as something that just breaks. It's a judgmental view that labels any variation as a disorder or a deficit. It's saying, yep, this system is broken and we need to fix it. Okay, so let's just toss that old idea out the window. For this explainer, we're going to put on a different hat. We're not psychologists, we're systems engineers. And from this perspective, your mind isn't some fragile, breakable object. It's a highly sophisticated operating system built for one thing above all else, survival. And that simple shift changes everything. So, if your mind is an OS, then what happens during trauma isn't a random accident or a breakdown. No way. It's a deliberate, calculated, high-stakes protocol. It's basically a controlled demolition. In this engineering model, a traumatic event is like a virus, a trauma virus. It's not just a bad memory, it's corrupted data, so dangerous, so potent, that it threatens to take down the entire system. We're talking about a total system collapse. So when that virus hits, the system is faced with a choice. And it's a brutal one, but it's incredibly logical. Option A, you do nothing, and you face 100% system corruption. Game over. Or, option B, you initiate a controlled demolition. You sacrifice a part to save the whole. It's a tough call, but really, it's no choice at all. And logically, the system always chooses survival. It kicks off what we're calling the Great Purge protocol. First, it detects the threat. Then, it isolates the corrupted sector. Think of a submarine sealing off a flooding compartment to save the ship. And finally, it initiates the purge, a self-sacrificial demolition of that part of itself to guarantee the core's survival. This is not damage. This is strategy. So, what's left after a demolition like that? Well, it's not a broken, limping version of the old system. Not at all. It's a completely new architecture. The outcome here isn't repair. It's evolution. It's what we could call a chimeric metamorphosis. It's the birth of something brand new, built from the salvaged, uncorrupted code of what came before. And this table really shows you what that evolution looks like. The original program, this hopeful precursor, it gets sacrificed in the purge. But from its uncorrupted code, something new is forged. In this case, a new program called TRIS, a protector, designed to be way more resilient, built specifically to enforce the boundaries the old system couldn't. It's an upgrade born out of pure necessity. And this right here might be the most powerful part of this whole reframe. That thing we all call a trauma scar. It isn't a scar at all. It's a feature, not a bug. It's a custom-built firewall, a highly sophisticated protective protocol that your new architecture designed for one reason, to make damn sure that a threat like that original virus never, ever gets close to the core again. It is a monument to your survival. Okay, so if these trauma responses aren't flaws, if they're features, what on earth does that mean for healing? Well, it means our entire approach has to change. It opens up a totally new path forward. Just look at the difference here. The old way, historical excavation, is all about digging up the past, trying to fix the broken part, which can honestly just be re-traumatizing. But the new method, architectural mapping, isn't about the past. It's about understanding the system you have right now. The goal isn't repair, it's integration. So this is basically the new user manual. Healing is integration. You don't have to keep picking at the old corrupted file that your system so brilliantly walled off. Instead, You map out your new architecture. You get to know those new protector programs like Triss. You actually thank them for saving you. You understand why they were built, and then you work with them to update their code, to gently let them know the war they were built for is over. Because at the end of the day, healing isn't about trying to get back to who you were. It's about becoming the skilled, conscious administrator of the incredibly powerful, resilient system that you are today. And that leaves us with one last big question to think about. That new architecture, that fortress you built, it was built to keep you safe. And it did its job. But now that the threat is gone, it's time to ask, what's the ongoing cost of all that armor? What amazing potential is waiting to be unlocked if you can decide it's finally safe to lower the drawbridge?